Making up the Boxy Jacket Sewing Pattern 647. Part 3. This series is another of my practical guides to making real clothes. Everyone loves this pattern. I love wearing it myself with my 545 semi-fitted shirt with all the frills. Download patterns from angelakane.com. This is not intended to be a sewing lesson. Check out my other videos for sewing for beginners. This is a guide to making up this particular pattern, but along the way I do explain some relevant techniques in some detail. I have interfaced all the jacket panels with iron-on interfacing. I am going to stay stitch around the neckline and the armholes. Otherwise these curves may stretch during construction. I'll prepare the dummy pocket flaps. They will also need interfacing. I have pinned the pocket flaps in place. I am going to join the side fronts to the fronts. I've chalked in the notches to make them clearer. To make it easy to join these opposing curves, I have snipped along here. There will be a little easing between the notches. Pin, baste and stitch and press the seams open. I will join all the panels in the same way. I will join the backs along the centre back seam and then join to the side backs. I will join the side seams and the shoulder seams, pressing all seams open. The jacket is taking shape. Slip stitch the ends of the pocket flaps down. I have joined all the panel seams, the side seams and the shoulder seams. I'm going to reduce bulk where I can by cutting away the seam allowance at these joins. The front facings will be turned in and joined to the front lining. Next, I will join the back neck facing and the back lining. Referencing the pattern, you will see there is a pleat here. This is to give wearing ease across the upper back and shoulders. Whilst the back is still folded, machine down 2 inches or 5 centimetres or so down the pleat line, which is a half an inch or 1.3 centimetres from the fold. Open and press the pleat. Then stay stitch around this curve. I need to clip all the way along to help me match these seam lines. I am matching opposing curves, which is always awkward, so match the clipped lining seam to the back facing. Pin, baste, stitch and press the seam down towards the lining. I'm ready to join the lining pieces. Join the panel seams and side seams, not the shoulder seams at this stage. Pin, baste, stitch and press open. The lining seams are complete. I clipped all these curves as before. I will now join the front lining to the jacket front facing. These are the 2 facings folded back. So, right sides together, join these 2 seams. Again, opposing curves need snips into the seam allowance. Stay stitch as necessary and clip into the curves here. I'm then able to match the seams. The front lining is now joined to the front facing and the seam pressed towards the front lining. You can see how this works. The front fold of the jacket is faced. The front facing extends to the shoulder. I can now join the lining and facing at the shoulders. Turn everything inside out. This is the front facing and the back neckline facing. I am going to join the shoulder seam across the facing and the lining, matching the seam line between facing and lining. Join the other shoulder seam, again facing to facing, lining to lining, matching at the seam. Press these shoulder seams open. Now to the neckline. With the garment and lining right sides together, I'm going to stitch around the neckline, matching seams and centres. When I turn it through, the neckline will be finished. The neckline is stitched. I'm mitering the corners to help me turn through the point, and I'm going to grade the seam allowance to reduce bulk. Trim away seam allowance at the shoulder seams and also snip into the curve all the way around. The jacket is looking good. I have turned through and pressed the neckline, and I have pressed the front button band fold. To stop this seam rolling to the outside, I will understitch the neckline seam allowance to the facing. Then baste around the neckline and down the front edge to keep everything in place. Making up continues in part 4. Pictures will be published soon. Download all my classic sewing patterns drafted across 9 sizes from angelakane.com. I design garments that every woman needs in her wardrobe. Please subscribe to my channel and thank you so much for watching.